Alright guys, this is for week 3 social studies. It is the Paul Revere packet, and I want you guys to really remember, and especially Liberty kids, whenever that guy was on the horse and he was going around saying, "The redcoats are coming, the redcoats are coming." That is who Paul Revere was. Remember, he was wanting to warn Samuel Adams that the British had changed what they were originally going to do and they were coming after him. So this is about the ride that Paul Revere took to warn Samuel Adams. So you guys are going to be reading this poem and answering the questions, and I'll go ahead and read it to you. That way, in case anything is confusing, I can kind of explain it for you. So it says, "Listen, my children, and you shall hear of the midnight ride of Paul Revere. On the 18th of April in 75, hardly a man is now alive. Who remembers that famous day and year? He said to his friends, if the British march by land or sea from the town tonight, hang a lantern aloft in the belfry arch." So basically hang a lantern outside of your house. "Of the North Church tower as a signal light, one if by land and two if by sea." So they're saying that if the British is moving by land, to hang one lantern, and if it's coming by sea, to hang up two. "And I on the opposite shore will be, ready to ride and spread the alarm through every Middlesex village and a farm, for the country folk to be up and to arm." So basically to wake up everybody and to get their guns ready in case the British try to come into their house. Then he said good night, and with muffled oar silently rowed to the Charleston shore. Just as the moon rose over the bay, where swinging wide at her moorings lay the Somerset, the British man of war, a phantom ship with each mast and spar across the moon like a prison bar, a huge black hulk that it was magnified by its own reflection in the tide. Meanwhile, his friend, through alley and street, wonders and watches with eager ears, till in the silence around him he hears the muster of men at the barrack door, the sound of arms and the tramp of feet, and the measured tread of grenadiers marching down to the boats on the shore. Then he climbed to the tower of the church, up the wooden stairs with stealthy tread, to the belfry chamber overhead, and startled the pigeons from their perch on the somber rafters, that round him made masses and moving shapes of shade, up the trembling ladder, steep and tall, to the highest window in the wall, where he paused to listen and look down a moment on the roofs of the town, and the moonlight falling over all. So he's basically seeing any lanterns were put up. Beneath in the churchyard lay the dead, in their night encampment of the hill, wrapped in silence so deep and still that he could hear, like a sentinel tread, the watchful night wind as it went, creeping along from tent to tent, and seeming to whisper, all is well. A moment only he feels the spell of the place and the hour, and the secret dread of the lonely belfry and the dead. For suddenly all his thoughts are bent on a shadowy something far away, where the river widens to meet the bay, a line of black that bends and floats on the rising tide like a bridge of boats. Meanwhile, impatient to a mountain ride, booted and spurred with a heavy stride, on the opposite shore walked Paul Revere. Now he patted his horse's side, now gazed at the landscape far and near, then impetuous stamped the earth, and turned and tightened his saddle girth. But mostly he watched with eager search the belfry tower of the old North Church, as it rose above the graves on the hill, lonely and spectral and somber and still. And lo, as he looks on the belfry height, a glimmer and then a gleam of light. He sprung to the saddle, the bridle he turns, but lingers and gazes till full on his sight a second lamp in belfry burns. So remember, it means the second lamp, and they were moving by sea. And then you guys are going to answer these short questions. If the British soldiers came across the land, how many lights would the friend light in the tower? It gives you that answer. All these you can find by going back to the poem. It's not that hard. Order of events, or otherwise known as sequence of events. You guys worked on this a lot. If you can't remember, just go back through the story and it will be in order in the story. And I don't think I had you guys do that page. I didn't have you do that page either, or that one. And then there's a word search. You guys shouldn't need me to explain how to do a word search. And that is it for week 3 of social studies. If you guys have any questions, please just let me know.